Hello everyone. In this episode, I would like to share certain important things related to the groundwater regulations, some relevant data, and I will share excerpts from a recent NGT order in the matter of original application number 392 of 2022, in which it is quoted a very significant order issued by the Madras High Court. Let's start with how many borewells are there in India. Taking a reference of these two newspaper reports published in 2019, it seems to be 27 million. However, let me tell you that National Water Mission, Government of India, organizes Water Talk on every third Friday of a month. In fact, recently on 26th November 2022, they have concluded the 42nd Water Talk. If you haven't attended, you should try to. Anyway, in the 6th Water Talk on 23rd August 2019, there were two important personalities with two very powerful talks. One was Popat Pawar of Hiware Bazar, and Hiware Bazar is in Maharashtra. And another was Umakant Umrao, an IAS, and at that time he was the Secretary P&RD Department, Government of Madhya Pradesh, and also the CEO of MPRRDA. I think MPRRDA stands for Madhya Pradesh Rural Road Development Authority. Umakant Umrao is very well known for the Dewas water conservation model. Dewas is in Madhya Pradesh. Let me also tell you that we have published this in Enviro Annotations in the 28th August 2019 issue. Mr. Umrao said that 40 million people in India have borewells. Now you can understand, if one borewell per person, then also it is going to be 40 million borewells. So you got the data. Then there were two newspaper cuttings which were reflecting an idea of 27 million borewells, and here there is a figure of 40 million borewell. Further, are all these borewells regulated? To understand this, let me tell you about groundwater regulations in India. First of all, you must know that on the directions of the Honorable Supreme Court of India, via its order dated 10th December 1996, passed in Civil Writ Petition number 4677 of 1985, in the matter of M.C. Mehta versus Union of India, the central government constituted the Central Groundwater Authority. The authority came into being through a notification bearing SO number 38E dated 14th January 1997 to exercise powers under Section 5 of the Environment Protection Act 1986 for the purposes of regulation and control of groundwater management and development. CGW has been regulating groundwater development and management by way of issuing no objection certificates for groundwater exploration to industries, infrastructure projects, and mining projects, etc. Currently, as you know, water is a state subject. Many states have created water authorities which are regulating, and it is not the CGWA everywhere. The National Green Tribunal has also issued a number of orders on matters pertaining to groundwater regulations. In one of the orders dated 13th July 2017, which was related to OA number 200 of 2014, the NGT directed that every industry should pay for extraction of groundwater, that too subject to the conditions stated in the order permitting such extraction. According to 24th September 2020 White SO number 3289E, the CGWA has notified the guidelines to regulate and control groundwater extraction in the country. However, just for your knowledge, before this also, there was another notification on 12th December 2018 bearing SO number 6140E, in which it was mandated that households agricultural farmers, and all others were required to get NOC and pay groundwater extraction charges. But due to litigation and NGT's interference, it was suppressed, and the 24th September 2020 notification, which is in force as on date, came into being. So you can understand that whatever the number of borewells in India, the regulated ones are those being used by the industries, mining and infrastructure projects. Now let's come to NGT Order dated 15th November 2022. In the matter of Prashant Pant and another versus Union of India and others in the OA number 392 of 2022. Grievance raised by the applicants is that there is illegal extraction of groundwater by builders operating in Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Particularly 40 names were cited. The Green Court has considered the complaints that the statutory authorities have failed to prevent illegal extraction of groundwater for commercial purposes, resulting in depletion of groundwater level in the area identified as overexploited as per assessment of the CCWA. A joint committee comprising the Central Pollution Control Board, Uttar Pradesh Pollution Control Board and the District Magistrate Noida was constituted to verify the facts. The Joint Committee filed a report on 7th October 2022. The report states that 25 out of 33 group housing projects verified were found drawing water or groundwater illegally. The NGT constituted Joint Committee has recommended dismantling of borewells set up without permission, levy of compensation for illegal withdrawal of groundwater in accordance with notification dated 24th September 2020 of the CGWA. The committee has further reported that only one company, Gorsons, through Gorsons High-Tech Infrastructure Private Limited, has responded to the notice served on all the project proponents. The NGT bench has stated that at the outset, we may notice that unregulated withdrawal of groundwater is detrimental to the environment and violates directions of Supreme Court of India in MC Mehta versus Union of India 1997. The regulation is necessary for water conservation, which implies assessment of groundwater level and impact of withdrawal, ensuring adequate replenishment so that water level is not depleted and water balance is maintained. The NGT order further states that Joint Committee report shows that 25 out of 33 PP's project proponents have installed borewells and have not shown any permission for the purpose. The tribunal further states it is not shown whether extent of extraction of groundwater is within permitted limit as per piezometers and record, and whether conditions of replenishment followed. Citing a recent order dated 17th October 2022 in OA number 438 of 2018, in the context of illegal extraction of groundwater by hotels in Uttar Pradesh, the NGT bench said 70% of the establishments were found to be extracting groundwater illegally. The same appears to be the position in the context of the builders covered by the present proceeding. In this order, there is an observation of the NGT. It reads, at this stage, we may notice that the regulatory mechanism of the CGW has not been adequate, as the report also notes. CGWA does not appear to have requisite strength, nor enforcement mechanism, nor strategies. This may be one of the reasons for failure in effective monitoring, defeating the object of law. This has led to large number of petitions before the tribunal pointing out that illegal groundwater extraction was rampant. The plans for rainwater harvesting and many other steps to a great extent remain largely only on paper. Remedial measures need to be taken in view of serious challenges in protection of groundwater level to save rivers and water bodies and the entire chain of environment. Further, citing the environmental rule of law, the tribunal underlined that it's indispensable for equity in terms of the advancement of the Sustainable Development Goals, which also deliberates clean water and sanitation as SDG 6. The NGT Order quotes a judgment dated 3rd October 2018 of the Madras High Court in the matter of Saruja Agro Foods versus the Chief Engineer on the issue of regulation of groundwater. The Madras High Court has observed that drawal of groundwater without authority will be a criminal offence of theft and mischief under the Section 379 and 425 of IPC. Such extraction must be scientifically monitored district-wise with punitive consequences against violations. The Madras High Court directed the respondents not to grant license, no objection certificate or NOC, or permission for commercial establishments or person to extract groundwater for commercial usage in absence of fixation of water flow meter on the board outlet, which is to be inspected. They were also directed to register police complaint in the event of identifying any excess extraction of groundwater by tampering the flow meters sealed or by any other means by any person under the Section 379 of Indian Penal Code. In addition, if the water is wasted for causing wrongful loss, then Section 425 of IPC will also attract. The NGT Principal Bench, comprised of Justice Adarsh Kumar Goel, Chairperson, Justice Sudhir Agarwal, Judicial Member, and Professor A. Senthil Vel, Expert Member, issued directions for sealing of all illegally operating borewells and recovery of compensation for illegal extraction of groundwater in the past, considering the cost of such water with deterrent elements and the cost of replenishing the groundwater level. Point to be noted, the order emphasizes that in absence of clear data on these aspects, interim or flow level compensation can be equal to at least 0.5% of the project cost of the project proponents, apart from remedial action for the future. The final compensation may further be assessed. Another point to be noted, in the matter, the NGT Principal Bench has also directed the concerned statutory regulators to look into and regulate use of potable water for non-contact purposes for which non-potable water can be used to augment availability of potable water for drinking. All the states and union territories need to take necessary action on the subject by issuing necessary SOP through their water resources departments and SPCBs within 1 month from the 15th of November 2022. The activities which need to replace use of potable water may be listed and mentioned in the consents, consent to operate as well as consent to establish. Now, it will be a consent condition that the digital water meters must be installed. Of course, it is installed as per Groundwater NOC 2 and connected to the central servers. And before I close, let me tell you that there were a number of industries, maybe they still are, without groundwater NOC just because the actual volume of water consumption is not shared with the SPCBs or UTPCCs concerned. Now, the game is over. That's all in this episode. If you liked it, please mention it in the comment section and share this video with your friends and colleagues. Till I come back with another episode, do take care of your good self, your near and dear ones, and your environment.